Good morning. Hi, I'm Christa. It's nice to meet you all. I usually do this virtually. It's not very often these days that I'm doing a presentation in person. So in the community, if I was doing a presentation, I might say, "Good morning, gals, theys, and gays. Happy Pride." My name is Christa, and as Lynn mentioned, I am the chapter lead for pflag London, and I am now the vice president for pflag National for all of Canada. I wear lots of hats these days. I'm also the co-chair for Trans London. pflag is an international peer support organization. We support families and individuals in the 2S LGBTQIA community. Each month, members in London come to talk about and receive support from trained facilitators and other group members. We offer a wide range of groups. We have 5. We have a parents and caregivers group, which we affectionately call the Mamas and Papa Bears. We have a Queerdo group, which is for 18 and over members of the 2S LGBTQIA community. And then we have 2 youth groups for kids aged 6 to 17. And then we do an online group called pflag Partners, which is for anyone who has had a romantic partner come out during their relationship. Our host crew, we host monthly swims, summer barbecues, holiday meals, a queer food bank, and a queer clothing bank, as well as a binder bank for gender diverse and trans folks. Trans London, which is not part of pflag, we're kind of like sister organizations. Trans London is a social group that meets monthly for anyone in the trans community and any allies who want to attend. We have movie nights, trivia nights, coffee nights. Sometimes we just sit around and gab. Each month, both groups support around 100 people who are part of our community, and this doesn't include the numerous phone calls that I receive every week. We're incredibly active and a huge part of the queer community in London and area. But I'm here to talk about Pride and why in 2024 we still need Pride. We've been hearing about this forever. But now more than ever, it's so important. Pride, it's a word that evokes celebration, community, and a fierce determination to live authentically in the face of those who would deny us. The Pride movement, born of the Stonewall Uprising in 1969 and countless other struggles for 2S LGBTQIA liberation, has seen significant victories. But in the wake of increasing mainstream acceptance, has something been lost? For many, Pride has become synonymous with parades, corporate sponsorships, rainbow-themed merchandise, the commodification of something that was once radical. While visibility is important, it's imperative that in 2024 and beyond, we reclaim Pride not just as a festival, but as a powerful act of protest against the systems that continue to oppress and marginalize 2S LGBTQIA+ people. Across North America and the globe, we're witnessing a terrifying escalation in anti-transgender legislation and rhetoric. Trans and non-binary individuals, especially youth, are targeted in desperate attempts to deny their existence and erase their rights. Healthcare access, participation in sports, and even the simple act of using the washroom that aligns with one's gender identity have become political battlegrounds. 3 provinces in Canada, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and New Brunswick, have passed legislation banning access to healthcare, chosen pronouns, chosen names, and both to sports teams and washroom access to gender diverse and trans youth. These bills cite parental rights, but what about the parents who are choosing to support their child on this journey? What about the fundamental rights of the children that these laws are affecting? These bills remove safety, mental health support, and bodily autonomy from youth. Schools, sports teams, churches, and social groups will no longer be safe havens for youth from parents who do not understand or choose not to understand their child's gender identity. This is not just a Canadian problem. In the US, there are over 566 active bills that are aiming to remove the rights of not only transgender youth, but also adults, denying individuals healthcare, housing, employment, ensuring that no matter how hard a trans person works, they will always be considered less than in the eyes of the law. My husband, Elliot, a trans man who's also an American, would be forced to use the women's washroom in over 42 states. My husband has a full beard, a deep voice, and has not been seen as a woman in 13 years. We were unable to attend his brother's wedding last year because of unsafe washroom bills in Arkansas. It would only take one person who knew him in his previous life to report him, and he would be jailed. And while the current wave of attacks targets trans people most directly, the insidious threat this poses to the entire 2S LGBTQIA+ community is dire. History has taught us that those who aim to strip rights from one marginalized group won't stop there. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, and other 2S LGBTQIA people remain vulnerable to discrimination and violence. Our struggles are inherently connected. Too often, pride parades feel less like spaces of radical inclusion and more like advertisements for corporations looking to exploit a lucrative market. This is called pinkwashing. Pride must be centered around the most marginalized members of our community. This means actively confronting racism, ableism, classism, and all forms of oppression within LGBTQ spaces. Indigenous and Black 2S LGBTQIA people continue to experience disproportionate levels of violence and discrimination. Our commitment to pride must be a commitment to intersectional justice. Here's a vision of what pride in 2024 and the future could be. We can center trans voices. Trans people must be at the forefront of pride events, leading, speaking, and having their concerns heard, specifically the voices of trans women and Indigenous and Black trans people. We need to prioritize activism. Marches, protests, and workshops focused on concrete political action must be given equal, if not greater, prominence within Pride celebrations. We need to commit to support community organizations, uplift the work of grassroots movements addressing homelessness, HIV and AIDS support, mental health, and other vital issues facing the 2S LGBTQIA community. We need to demand systemic change. Pride events should be platforms for calling out corporations and politicians who uphold oppressive systems. Looking at you, Alberta. Sorry. We need to confront intolerance within our local communities. It is vital we address and challenge those within the 2S LGBTQIA community who do not support trans rights. Division only weakens the collective fight for liberation. There is no gay pride without trans pride, and there are no gay rights without trans rights. If you're looking for groups in the city to support this Pride season and all year, please consider supporting pflag, Trans London, and the Regional HIV/AIDS Connection. In conclusion, let's make Pride 2024 not just a celebration, but a renewed commitment to the revolutionary spirit that gave birth to this movement. 2S LGBTQIA+ continued liberation depends on it, and so do we. Thank you.